Hello everyone, and today we're talking about a game that has taken up a bit of my free time lately. And I'm not talking about Starfield or Baldur's Gate 3, which is a fantastic game by the way, but instead I'm actually talking about something much older than those games by about 10 years. That's right, we're talking about the Typing of the Dead Overkill. Typing of the Dead Overkill is a typing game from the titans of industry Sega. TDO, which I'll be calling it from now on, or Typing the Dead Overkill, is actually recycled from another game, The House of the Dead Overkill, which released in 2009. According to the game's wiki page, the development team only had about 4 months of development time to turn the on-rail shooter into the typing masterpiece that it is. Apparently, the small development team, Blitz Game Studio, was running out of the apartment of the then project lead Ollie Clark because they didn't actually have an office space to use at the time. But Sega kindly lended them a temporary office space to finish up the project. And after several months of development time, the team would finally finish production on TDO, and Sega would riskily release the game on Steam's Halloween sale without any sort of announcement or prior hype. Sega did say that the title did surprisingly better than expected, so kind of a win. You know, a win is a win. I didn't realize this at the time, but when you buy the Steam version of the Typing of the Dead Overkill, you actually get access to the House of the Dead Overkill, which is the on-rail shooter equivalent. I actually played a little bit of this, and it's actually very fun. You get to upgrade your weapons, and you don't have to worry about how bad you are at typing, and instead you kind of get to see how bad you are at aiming, and then you're just hyper aware of it all the time, and you're missing and killing civilians on accident. You have stupid hands. Anyways, the game has a lot of personality. TDO borrows many elements from Grindhouse, which mainly refers to a style of literature or media that is often low budget or presents as low budget, horror, exploitative, and almost always sleazy to some degree. Some other popular pieces of media that you've seen labeled as Grindhouse are Planet Terror, which is a personal favorite of mine. I saw it on cable as a kid, and while I was looking for examples of Grindhouse for this very video, I rediscovered it. Some more classic Grindhouse would be the original Black Christmas, 1974, Death Race 2000, 1975, and the original Dawn of the Dead, 1978. The game really does give off the vibe of watching a Grindhouse movie with the grain effect, the dialogue, even some of the character design. I'm no Grindhouse elitist, if such a thing exists, but I can pretty safely feel I can say that this game does a great job at capturing the Grindhouse spirit. TDO is not even the first Typing of the Dead game. Some of you may have even played the original that released in 99. I was too busy stinking up the place in 99, so, I think it's to say I never really crossed paths with it. TTD, or Typing of the Dead, was originally an arcade game, and it was later actually ported to the Sega Dreamcast, Microsoft Windows, and even the PlayStation 2 in the early 2000s. They actually sold some of these copies with a USB keyboard. TTD was also, like TDO, repurposed from one of the House of the Dead games. The main character's gun was actually replaced by the much more powerful keyboard. And while both these games are considered edutainment, they were both very well received at the time for their sense of humor, difficulty, and originality. Hopping into TDO's story, the game starts us out in Papa Caesar's palace, where you're introduced to two of the main characters, G and Washington. G and Washington explore Papa Caesar's palace, and for some unknown reason, there's seemingly an endless amount of zombies, or mutant zombie-like creatures, that are all over the place. It's important to make that distinction for some reason.
Ultra-violence. I fucking hate these zombies.
Mutants? How many times do I have to tell you not to use the Z word?
You finally reach Caesar just to find him berating a disabled person whose name is Jasper Guns. Jasper then goes sicko mode when Caesar threatens his sister.
Nobody threatens Varla.
The ultimate sacrifice.
And after a quick little boss fight with Jasper, which I totally didn't die to, by the way, you get to meet Jasper's sister, Varla, who then starts her revenge crusade.
She's filled with a primal hunger for revenge. Mankind's last hope now rests on the shoulders of two men. Caesar's heading to the hospital. We gotta stop that asshole before he gets there.
Tasteful ride.
Don't disrespect my wheels. She's my pride and joy.
We'll take my car.
In the next scene, we're introduced to Jasper's partner, Candy Striper. She and Varla escape their way out of the gentleman's club that they work in. They seem to have been preparing for the mutant apocalypse ahead of time, and unfortunately the vehicle Varla took to the club actually broke down, so they need to get her bike keys from some of their fellow dancers, Coco and Cindy, that just so happened to borrow them. And as it would happen, just to our luck, they were actually turned into mutants, and you're confronted with a boss fight so that you can take your bike and get the hell out of Dodge.
Right. Which one of you bitches has my fucking keys? Damn it, Cindy. Have you lost weight? Where's your little fuck buddy?
Look, Varla. Look at Cindy's stomach.
Oh, fucking gross.
What do we do now?
We take those bitches down.
The fight isn't too bad. Coco, the smaller of the two, will actually dodge in and out of cover while you try to type the various phrases and words that show. And after enough successful attempts, Cindy will either try to throw a barrel at you, or she will ground pound and send a shockwave your way. And then you have to dodge by pressing like a single input. But without too much work, you are victorious, and then you fetch your prize and are able to head into... In the next chapter of our story, we catch up with G and Washington on their attempt to catch Papa Caesar. This mission takes place in a hospital of some kind, and the iconic duo make their way through hordes of mutants in an attempt to capture the elusive Papa Caesar. Unfortunately, after making their way through the entire hospital, they ultimately get stuck fighting a boss mutant once again, and let Papa C get away. I really like the Screamer fight. I think this might be like the most mechanically rich boss fight of the game. There is a phase that has like a bunch of regular mutants popping up, and you have to wait for the Screamer to pop out of the floor in order to type the word. There's also this other bit where the Screamer will appear with 3 illusions of herself, and then you have to pick the right one and type the phrase correctly. Once you beat the Screamer, you find Papa, for some reason, installed a wireless phone in the mutant's body, and goads Washington while making his getaway.
Hello?
Who could be behind such depravity?
It's for you.
Yo,
Isaac, darling,
Papa strikes again.
as you well know, Isaac, I enjoy pain. It's like a good Chinese dinner, you know, with the sweet and the sour. Expanding on that analogy, I will smile with delight. That's the sweet, as you scream for your fucking life. Of course, that's the sour. Ciao.
Mad motherfucker. Shit! The place is wired to blow!
We're not dead yet, detective.
Finally, at the end of the chapter, the duo is saved by our heroine, Varla, and they all have a healthy chat about their names in a totally respectful manner.
We're both very appreciative of you coming to our rescue, Miss.
Varla guns! And no wisecracks, okay?
You gotta be fucking kidding me!
What did I just say?
Guns? All the fucking guns? What kind of name is that?
The name I was born with, dipshit! You see, my birth was celebrated, whereas on your arrival, yeah, I'm sure, I bet they tried to push you back in, whoever the fuck you are.
His name is Washington. Isaac Washington.
Named after my daddy. And that shit's biblical. So I'd advise showing a little bit more motherfucking respect.
Cute. And what do I call your wife back here?
I'm Agent G.
And Isaac Jr. had issue with my name? You gonna tell me what that G stands for?
Afraid not.
In the next chapter of our adventure, G and Washington are left to investigate a carnival that seems to be overrun with more mutants. And we actually are introduced to a new enemy type here. These prisoner guys, they seem to be quite a bit stronger than your average mutant. You have to successfully type 3 short phrases or words in order to wrestle these mutants and win. These interactions almost always end with you either bashing them with something that's on the ground or sending them through something else. Nice. The boss for this chapter is actually a member of the circus. Well, 2 members actually, since they are conjoined twins. Nigel and Sebastian, I believe they were strongmen in the circus, but they also may have been lion tamers, but they kind of seem too yoked for that. I'm not sure. I actually lowered the difficulty for this mission out of curiosity for how big of a difference it would make. And man, you know, I was playing on the hardest difficulty previously, and that's definitely for the pro typist out there, which I am not. I was averaging like 2 to 3 deaths per mission on the highest difficulty, and on the medium difficulty, I was actually fully capable of finishing the chapter without retrying. If you're capable of beating the game on the highest difficulty, feel free to flex, you know, in the comments. But I have no trouble admitting I am mid at best at typing. Anyways, fighting Sebastian isn't too bad. I really enjoyed like the slow-mo bit. He'll jump in the air and you have to quickly, you know, type a phrase or you'll take damage. Once Nigel and Sebastian are defeated, G and Washington then secure their next luxurious ride, an ice cream truck. They then have a conversation about how G's taste in music sucks because he likes country, and honestly, that's kind of valid. The only good country music is outlaw country, and, you know, no one can really change my mind about that.
You know, Washington, a man driving a car with his own choice of music is one of the finest experiences he can have in an automobile.
You call this an automobile?
Music, man, motor, isolated from the outside world. Music making you nod your head with every beat while the outside's just passing you by. You know where I'm coming from?
If I did, that's not the type of shit I share.
Well, how do you mean?
A brother cannot be asked to relay his personal affiliation to his music before knowing he can trust that motherfucker. These things take time. Here I am teamed up with a partner I don't even fucking need, forced to sit in the motherfucking passenger seat, which I have not fucking done since I was a kid, while he goes all soft talking about his feelings for his motherfucking tunes. Shit, just play your fucking music. What the fuck?
I was listening to that.
You fucking think because you scored us this fucking popsicle ride, you can play that shit?
Hey, that there is country western's finest.
You are one fucked up fuck. You know that? That's offensive shit you're playing me.
You ever thought of therapy?
What the fuck for?
All you do is get pissed off at and with just about anything and anyone. I'm attempting conversation here with you.
Conver-fucking-sation?
Yes, conver-motherfucking-sation. But you know what? I'm gonna shut up. You play your music, you play it your way, and I will just drive.
Can I drive?
No.
Can I have a lollipop?
Yes.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Anyways, we then head into our next chapter. Our favorite ladies, Varla and Candy, are once again reunited, and they are drawn into a meat processing plant because they actually recognize Papa C's car right in the lot. Seeking their revenge for their brother and lover, respectively, they storm the meat processing plant. We are introduced to a new enemy type here, and potentially a future boss. After making your way through the insect mutant hybrids, you then meet Katie.
Stench!
Smells like something crawled in here and died.
Would it be too much to ask for it to be Papa Caesar?
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
What is it?
No idea, but it looks like it's going to charge.
But Varla, I don't have any money on me.
What Jasper saw in you, I'll never know.
Did I mention the thing he'd like me to do with my,
Quiet girl, we've got some prime rib to prepare.
A cow-human mutant hybrid thing creature. And after much back and forth with Katie, almost literally, the fight really has you going up and down this really thin aisle. She eventually goes down and launches her cleaver onto a rafter and then herself onto a conveyor belt, which kind of just leads right into it's like a meat mulcher thing, I guess. This bit really reminded me of like the last 15 minutes of the new Evil Dead movie, which if you haven't seen, I would recommend. Much to Candy's misfortune, she stands directly under the wrong rafter and gets separated from her favorite hand, and then bleeds out while talking about her true love, Jasper, and how they're going to be reunited. Personally, while she is entertaining, I kind of found Candy to be almost insufferable, but I will admit hers is an unfortunate fate. Rest in piss, Candy.
It's too late. Feels so weak.
You be strong, Angel. Be strong for Jasper.
I can see him on his stair lift, coming down for me. It's quite slow, but they have to be. Something about health and safety. Oh, it's stuck. No, it's moving again.
Don't you dare die on me, you hear me, Candy?
Leave me, Varla. Go. Find Caesar and kill him.
I can't leave you here. I won't leave you here.
It's okay. My Jasper is here. Huh? You came for me, Jasper. I love you, Candy. We can be together again. And Papa Caesar will never split us up.
Just hold on.
Oh, Jasper, will I have my arm in heaven? Will I still be able to do that thing you like me to do?
Sweet dreams, baby doll. Sweet dreams. This time, Papa Caesar, it's really fucking personal.
Varla, much like the hero she is, walks off into the distance swearing she will have her revenge on Papa C, all while carrying Candy's severed arm. And then we're on to our next chapter. Open with G in Washington pulling up on Varla with her weapon pressed against Papa C's head at a train station. The trio then start arguing about whose bust/revenge is more important, while Papa C slowly starts getting on the train, which they pretty much all basically watch and let happen.
My brother died trying to take down this sick fuck. I need this. I gotta do this for Jasper.
Caesar's mine, Varla.
Papa Caesar, you're under AMS arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can...
Fuck that shit! This bastard can't live.
I can't let you kill him. Let me contact my agency and we'll take him into custody.
To hell with that!
Fucking A, sister. Caesar ain't leaving this platform with his eyes still open, G.
Have you both lost it?
Washington does take a cheeky little shot at him, which, was pretty well deserved. And then Caesar actually makes a whole bunch of noise with the train horn and starts the train up and gets away, leaving G and Washington to have to make their way through the train, which, by the way, this train's layout is super confusing to me. Dudes are taking so many turns, I don't know which, I'm direction blind, I don't know which way is up, at least until we end up on top of the speeding train and we're introduced to this level's boss, which is an insect mutant known as the Crawler. Pretty normal stuff going on here. You know how it is. This boss actually has a mechanic where it'll toss some stuff up in the air and you have to use, something like the number keys and letter keys to shoot the clumps out of the air. There's also a mechanic where you kind of have to wait a second before typing the phrase that it gives you. It's kind of like a fake out, Watching this footage back, I actually think it's kind of cool. After defeating the chillest enemy in the game, G and Washington are safely tossed from the train crash and ride into... This chapter actually starts with Varla stumbling upon G and Washington in a interesting position, to say the least.
Hey, Isaac, you finally found the G-spot, huh? Sorry to ruin the moment.
Isaac's back. Here I am. You saw nothing. You hear?
Isaac, baby, my lips are sealed.
Papa C shows up out of nowhere, but not really out of nowhere because he was on board the train and then he takes Varla hostage. And then here we learn just a little bit more about Washington's background with Caesar. Pretty much Caesar's all but admitting that he killed his father.
You truly are your father's son, Isaac. Like him before you have failed to apprehend me. And while I may not have the satisfaction of ending your life, I will take some small comfort in knowing you have been denied your revenge once again.
And just like that, our heroes make their way through the swamp to the prison in hopes to catch up with Varla and Papa Caesar. This level introduces some, new weird-looking enemies. They actually explode if they hit you. G and Washington then have the most average encounter you can have with the American police and a bystander when they encounter the Lobber, which is our boss for the level, by the way.
It has come to murder. It has come to feed. It came from the fetid water.
Can you give us a fucking moment? Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
My paper beats your rock.
Oh, fuck it. You have the right to remain fucking silent. You have the right to an attorney. Anything you say can and fucking will. You just made my fucking day.
I swear I was working on the last 10% of this big boy's health for a solid 10 minutes. And you have to be quick to hit all three phrases you get. They throw them at you right after you interrupt his attack. Anyways.
That was not a shortcut. I mean, what were you...
Oh, quit whining, you pussy. I got us here, didn't I? Fuck. You about to get all country and western on me again?
Isaac.
Careful. There's only so much of this shit a brother can take.
Look, I just want you to know, if it comes down to it, I won't stand in the way of you getting even with Caesar.
I'd like to see you fucking try.
I'm serious.
Look, I appreciate the fucking sentiment, but it's not needed. I do what I gotta do. I gotta get justice for my old man. And as I see it, you're with me 100%. And I appreciate that too. But we've been through shit. You don't need to go articulating every fucking thing. I know you got my back. That's enough. You dig me?
I love you too, man.
Right, that's fucking it.
The prison then?
Fucking lead the way, Montel.
After sending Lobber to the bottom of the swamp, we continue to make our way into... The next chapter in our story is Jailhouse Judgment, which has an insane thumbnail. Oh my god, by the way. Anyways, this chapter starts us with our heroes finding the prison, and they happen to meet quite the suspicious character known as the Warden. Well, we actually find out his name is Clement later, but shut up about that now. Bro goes on and on about having to take a steaming hot piss, and then just starts pissing in front of us, which I know he's a warden and all, but isn't public nudity a felony or something? Probably not super important right now in the midst of an apocalypse, but whatever.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to piss. My dick's on fire. I've been on the road for at least 3/4 of an hour with a bladder full of steaming hot piss, slashing left and right with every turn of the road in a way that a bladder full of steaming piss tends to. Do excuse me.
The Warden points out that Varla and Caesar must be in the prison already since Varla's bike is actually in the parking lot when the detectives ask if they've seen them. And then we make our way through the entire prison and eventually make it to the execution room where, plot twist, we actually find out that the creepy warden guy is in fact Creep. And he actually captured Varla and Caesar in the prison before we could get to them. But not just out of the goodness of his heart or anything like that. No, he was actually working with Caesar for some reason or another, and the warden betrayed him? Well, okay, so it wasn't really one reason or another. Caesar was actually working with the warden to make the compound better for the warden. The warden was trying to use this compound that made all the mutants. He's trying to use it to make his mother live longer. And I guess the original use for the compound was to make super soldiers, which kind of explains some of the messed up shit we've seen so far. Clement then monologues about how Washington probably really wants to avenge his father that died in line of service, and Caesar may or may not have had a hand in the murder. Snore, you know how it is. The warden finally puts C out of his misery and just electrocutes the shit out of him. And then he reveals his real plot, which is to actually make his very ancient mother young again by putting her in Varla's body. And then they kind of just like sink into the floor, and he sticks Brutus on the heroes, which is kind of just like a murderous Frankenstein project the Warden had going on in the subterranean lab. Also, just gonna call it now, the Warden really gives off these crazy Norman Bates vibes, which if you don't know about that, I would just recommend looking up Oedipus Complex. This fight did have a nice surprise by throwing in some acronyms. Really threw me off my already off balance game. However, after Brutus falls, we then make our way into the final chapter of our story. After making our way further into the prison's underground science lab, which all prisons have, of course, we all know this, we finally catch up to Varla, and oh, look, the Warden is here too. Judging by the way Varla is acting, and also that brain in the jar, I'm willing to bet that's not actually Varla.
So, where's Varla?
She's right here, boys.
Varla? Are you okay?
Better than okay. I've never felt so turned on in my life.
Say what?
Don't worry, detective. Everybody will have their chance to have a go.
Nobody's having a go with anybody.
Stay behind me, Varla.
Grab your gun, not your dick.
Clement, did I call for you? Go to your room.
Can't you just one time in your life show your son a little fucking gratitude?
And you know, some of you may have already guessed it. That isn't Varla. Varla is actually that brain in a jar. And who's in her body? Who else other than the Warden's mother? And unfortunately, she and the Warden just verified my Norman Bates reference. Gross. G and Washington retaliate by attacking Mother and successfully kill her. And then the game ends and everyone lives happily ever after, and that's it. All right, well, that isn't really what happens. Mother falls into a pit of like the chemical X stuff. And then the game does like a little fake out with this missing reel bit. When we resume, G and Washington suddenly have miniguns, and we're actually introduced to the Mother boss fight, which is much different in the way that the game is normally played. See, normally we just type single words or phrases, and then that is either a kill or, in the case of a boss, a bit of damage to their health, but these words and phrases are already predetermined by the game. In the Mother fight, however, you're given free will to pretty much just type whatever you want, and you are rewarded when you type words related to the prompts that the game provides. That all said though, they give you a little bit too much freedom here. You can kind of just button mash and kill everything on the screen. Mother spawns some minions, just button mash. It literally doesn't matter. Also, just a point I wanted to add, I was kind of looking for like a list of words to use for the minigame. I just wanted something to go off of so I wasn't just like spamming buttons. It felt a little cheesy, you know? But all I could find was a Steam forum mentioning how when the character prompt is on either of the two female characters, words like tits, ass, hot, and I'd be willing to bet pretty much any other sexually suggestive words provided that bonus damage, which is interesting, I guess. Or maybe it's not, I don't know. Maybe there's an argument to be made about this fight being too easy, especially if you don't play it the way the devs intended, but I don't know, I guess it's kind of fitting for the game and like the setting of the game. You know, our main characters have freaking miniguns, so it makes sense that they wouldn't work the same as our shrimpy pistols and assault rifles.
Alone.
I can't go on in a world without my mommy.
In a world that would never accept him.
You're fucking right there.
A cornered animal.
I advise you, don't. This is a dead man's switch.
With nothing to live for.
Kill me, and the self-destruct for the lab beneath us goes off. This whole prison will be leveled.
Then what do you want?
Sought only redemption.
I want to undo all the wrongs I have done. I want to return to the womb. Please, just this one last thing.
You fucking handle this freak show. I need to sit down.
When revenge seemed the only option.
You've broken 100 laws. You're responsible for the deaths of countless thousands. You threatened the safety of every man, woman, and child on this planet. And you put our friend's brain in a jar!
I have a lot to atone for.
By returning to the womb?
That's right.
A final noble act.
Give me that.
Thank you.
Was all that was needed.
Don't fucking thank him. Soon as we're in a helicopter out of here, I'm chucking that thing out the fucking window.
Then I can die happy. Goodbye, boys.
Did you not find this all slightly ironic?
Ironic?
Yeah, ironic. You know, when something occurs after you...
I know what ironic means, motherfucker.
You see, you did it again. Throughout this whole episode, you've been motherfucking everything.
That's my thing. That's how I fucking speak.
Yeah, but there we were, face to face with the real motherfucker.
Huh?
Clement more than likely fucked his mother. And not once did you call him motherfucker. When indeed he was. Most probably a real motherfucker. So what does that tell you?
I don't fucking know.
It means you don't fucking mean what you fucking say. It's all shit.
Say what, motherfucker?
See, you're doing it fucking again. You like me. Deep down through all your fuckisms, you really like me. I'm the fucking nearest fucking thing you've ever had to a fucking friend.
Don't fucking do this to me, man. Wrong fucking place, wrong...
Go on, say it.
Say the fuck what?
Say you like me.
Get the fuck out of my space. Never repeat fucking talk of that shit again.
Or what?
I don't fucking know what. That's fucking what.
Okay, man, okay. We made progress here. You did good. When we're back home, I am going to get myself a car, play my country music, and if you want to ride back to where the fuck ever you live, you are motherfucking welcome.
Fuck you.
So that's a yes then.
Can I drive?
Fuck you.
Washington is washing off on you.
Bottle guns, if you can hear me, I'd like you to know I think you're the most beautiful woman I've ever met.
Now that just ain't right.
I think if we've learned anything from today, it's that love ain't always right.
Hey, I love my old man. You saying that ain't right?
Well...
And your fiance saying that y'all there loved her brother.
I was just making an observation.
Frankly, Casanova, I'd be more worried about reading the past 12 hours as a damning fucking indictment of contemporary feminism.
Beg pardon?
I just think two dick-wielding cop cliches taking down a 100-foot birth-in mother is a statement fairly limited in its interpretation.
I'm not sure you can read too much into that.
Not to mention, the strongest female role model in this whole affair ain't much more than a gherkin in a pickle jar.
Washington.
They had met as adversaries.
What the fuck is it?
They had fought as allies.
I love you, man.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
But to their enemies.
And you? One-way ticket to motherfucking Vegas, baby.
They were righteous motherfuckers.
Overall, I really liked Overkill. Completing the game unlocks this much more difficult hardcore mode, which makes it so that you can't make any mistakes and you have to hit like all the punctuation correctly, which for the most part you didn't really have to do on like the medium difficulty at least. It'll probably be a while before I attempt a full hardcore playthrough because my typing is duty, but overall, Overkill is a 10 out of 10 in my book, and I would recommend it to anyone actually looking for a really solid experience with a typing game. Plus, it goes on sale pretty frequently, and with Halloween coming up, you know, who knows. I will be playing more of the on-rail shooter version of the game because it's very fun. Anyways, I would like to thank you all for watching this video if you made it this far. Feel free to leave any feedback in the comments, and I'd appreciate if you could like the video. I will see you guys next time.